Hello everyone and welcome back to Dallas Cowboys Nation, your home for the latest Dallas Cowboy news, transfer rumors, training camp updates, player development, preseason information, and everything that are happening around the team, which is American team Dallas Cowboy. So if you are a true Cowboy fans, please make sure you have been subscribed to this platform. You turn on notifications and stay with us because today we have a very big updates in the training camp of the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are deep into one of the most important stages of their preparation for 2026 NFL season. A training camp is underway in Oxnard in California and the preseason is getting closer. Young players are fighting for a roster spots and veterans are trying to establish themselves, and perhaps most importantly, the owner of Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, has made it clear that the Cowboys are still willing to make another move before the season it starts. So today we are going to talk about everything. We will look at what is happening inside the Dallas Cowboys training camp, the latest player development, the injury situation in the camp, and the upcoming preseason games, the biggest position battles, the possible trades, Jerry Jones' comments about the making a major moves, and the position where the Dallas could still improve before the regular season it begins. So the Dallas Cowboys are currently holding the training camp at Light Playing Field in Oxnard, California, and this year camp has different feeling. The Cowboys entering the camp with a defense that has been rebuilt with several new faces, while the coaching staff, led by Scott Hamer, demanding more physicality, better communication, discipline, and consistency in the team. So the reports from the camp indicate that the intensity has been noticeable even during practices that are not conducted in full pads. So the head coach Brian Scott Hamer has been demanding a high level of effort from his players. The coaching staff is putting a major emphasis on fundamental and communication. This is especially important because Dallas is trying to build a completely different defensive identity. The Cowboys cannot afford to repeat the defensive problems that hurt them in the previous season. The goal in the Dallas Cowboys is not simply to have talented players, but the goal is to have a defense that plays together. And that is one of the biggest stories coming out in the Oxnard in California, where the Dallas Cowboys is making a camp. One of the most exciting parts of the training camp has been watching some of the young defensive players. Safety is a Caleb Downs has attracted a significant attention in the camp. The Cowboys selected Caleb Downs with the 11th overall picks in 2026 NFL Draft, and expectations around him are extremely high. So inside the camp, Caleb Downs has already been receiving a praise from our teammates, including a veteran safety, Malik Hooker, who has described the rookie as a special player. Downs has opportunity to becoming an important part of the Cowboys' defensive future. The Cowboys are hoping that his instinct, speed, tackling ability, and football intelligence can immediately improve the secondary, and he is not only a young defensive player getting attention, but also a rookie defensive end. Malachi Lawrence is also showing a progress and expected to receive an opportunity during a preseason. A linebacker Jaywan Balham is another young player Cowboys fans should watch closely. The competition at the linebacker has been intense, and that position could become one of the biggest battles on the roster before the final cuts. And in the camp in Oxnard, the Dallas Cowboys, there is some injury updates from the camp. There have also been some injury developments in the camp of the Dallas Cowboys. So a Jaywan Balham has been dealing with a minor groin issue, although reports indicate that the injury is not considered serious. This means a Balham injury is not as serious in the camp. So a safety John Thompson also had been dealing with a hip issue but returned to a practice. Jonathan Burrard and cornerback Delvin Moore have also been dealing with a groin problem. Meanwhile, a Malik Hooker recently has an excused absent for a personal reasons. The good news in the Dallas Cowboys have not been hit by a major wave of devastating injury, and a team is continuing to evaluate a player carefully. At this stage at the years, the Cowboys have a balanced intensity with cautions. There is no reason to risk an important starter in meaningless training camp play. So a CeeDee Lamb and a George Pickens' new era have also published and announced by the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Now let's talk about the Cowboys offense. The wide receiver room is one of the most exciting groups on this roster, and a CeeDee Lamb remained the centerpiece during a camp. So a CeeDee Lamb has continued working on his consistency and concentration. The Cowboys want Lamb to be one of the most reliable receivers in the NFL, and his chemistry with Dak Prescott remains extremely important. But there is another name Cowboys fans are watching closely. George Pickens is entering another important season with a Dallas, and Cowboys believe he can make a major impact alongside a CeeDee Lamb. The combination of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens gives a Dak Prescott a dangerous weapon on the outside, and that could create opportunity for a Jack Faxon, Cavonta Turpin, and Cowboys learning game. So the reports from the camp in Oxnard have also highlighted Pickens' competitive personality and his desire to win individual battles. So if the CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens can consistently perform at a high level, Dallas could have one of the more dangerous wide receiver combinations in the NFL. So in the camp also, Jack Faxon continued to impress the coaching staff, and another player receiving positive attention is Tyler and Jack Faxon. And Jack Faxon has continued to make a plays during a camp and remain an important part of the Cowboys' offensive plans. A Dak Prescott needs a reliable target in the middle of the field, and the Faxon can provide exactly that. If defenses focuses heavily on Lamb and Pickens, Faxon could have opportunity underneath and in the red zone. So the preseason is almost here, and now let's talk about some things the Cowboys fans want to know themselves. The first question that the Dallas Cowboys fans are asking themselves is when do Cowboys actually play? And we have the answer of this question about when the time the Dallas Cowboys will play the first game. As the preseason begins very soon, the Dallas will play 3 preseason games in Augusta. The first game is against Seattle on Saturday, August 15. The game will be played at Lehman Field in the Seattle with a kickoff schedule for 7 p.m. Central Time, according to the Cowboys official schedule. This will be important opportunity for a young player and a roster hopeful. The second preseason game, the Dallas will travel a State Farm Stadium in Arizona to face the Arizona Cardinals. The game is scheduled for a 9 p.m. Central Time, then the Cowboys will return home. And the final preseason game will be against a New Orleans Saints on Friday, August 28. That game will take place at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, with a kickoff schedule for 7 p.m. at Central Time. So the preseason schedule is August 15, where the Cowboys at Seahawks Lehman Field, 22 Cowboys at Cardinal State Farm Stadium, and at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium at 28th Augusta. So the Cowboys official schedule confirmed all 3 games to be played by the Dallas Cowboys. So another question that the Dallas Cowboys are asking themselves is that what should the fans watch for in the preseason in the Dallas Cowboys? So the fans in the preseason will not simply be about winning the game. For the Cowboys coaching staff, and the biggest objective will be evaluation. Who deserve the roster spot, which young player are ready for the NFL, and which the veterans are still playing at the high level, and who can contribute on special teams. And another question that the Dallas Cowboys fans are asking themselves is which position still need a help. And we have seen and we have talked about the feelings of the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, about some help or the player that will be added in the squad of the Dallas Cowboys. These questions will become much clearer during the 3 preseason game, and the fans should especially watch the linebacker and the cornerback position. Those are 2 areas where competition remains intense, and still now the Jerry Jones is not done for long contract signing. So now we are live perhaps the biggest to me a story. Jerry Jones could be the Cowboys make another major moves before this regular season. Yes, it is possible, but we must separate confirmed information from the rumors. Jerry Jones has publicly indicated that the Dallas is willing to make significant moves if the right opportunity become available. So in fact, Jerry Jones said the Cowboys would be willing to give up a top picks for additional firepower. That is a very important statement. It shows that the Dallas is not simply sitting back and waiting for the season, but the Cowboys believe they have a roster capable of competing, but they are also looking for ways to make them team stronger. Jerry Jones has also spoken about the feeling pressure to compete for a Super Bowl now rather than simply preparing for the future. This means in the Dallas could potentially become a buyer if another teams make a major player available. And which position, according to the recent comments surrounding the Cowboys, the 2 areas that could receive the most attention are a cornerback and a linebacker. Stephen Jones recently indicated that the Cowboys are continuing conversation with another NFL teams and veteran free agencies. He also pointed toward the competition at the cornerback and linebacker as earlier the roster could still change significantly. So let's deal with a Max Crosby trade in the Dallas Cowboys. Now we have to talk about the name that has created enormous excitement among the Cowboys fans. Crosby has been connected to the Dallas in the trade speculation because the Cowboys previously persuaded him, and Jerry Jones has openly discussed his willingness to make a major addition. That is why every time Jerry Jones talk about adding a firepower, Cowboys fans immediately start connecting the dots on the Crosby. But here is important part. There is currently no official announcement that Max Crosby is being traded